The narrative that Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter are locked in a bitter, lifelong rivalry is the most successful piece of fiction Hollywood has sold us in years. It is a story built on the foundation of a supposed love triangle, but the real architecture of this feud was designed in boardroom meetings by people who know that pitting successful women against each other is the fastest way to generate 1 billion streams. We are told this is a personal battle of heartbreak and betrayal, but when you look at the real timeline, the deleted evidence, and the industry fallout, it becomes clear that these two women are pawns in a much larger game of systemic competition. This isn't just a story about a blonde girl and a driver's license. It is a case study in how the music industry weaponizes private pain to create public profit. We have been fed a diet of carefully timed leaks and strategic silence designed to keep the fans at each other's throats while the labels sit back and watch the charts climb. By the time we finish this deep dive, you will see that the version of this story presented by the mainstream media is a sanitized corporate production meant to distract you from the actual artistry and the real friendship that has been brewing in the shadows for over 5 years. Now, before we get into the timeline they're trying to scrub, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. The mainstream media is currently being paid to bury this story, but I'm showing you the receipts they deleted and the context they're too scared to post. Don't let the PR spin win. Join the drip right now. Look at the timestamp on this deleted Instagram story from January 2021, right as driver's license was peaking, and you will see the exact moment the industry realized they could turn a private teenage transition into a global marketing campaign. This was never just about a boy or a car. It was about the industry plant logic that dictates there can only be one reigning pop princess at a time. The media cannot handle the nuance of two distinct artists succeeding simultaneously, so they force a Highlander scenario where only one can survive the cycle. According to a source close to the label, the initial rollout of this drama was carefully monitored to see which fan base would react more aggressively, because aggression equals engagement. The labels didn't just let the drama happen, they actively encouraged it by planting seeds in the press and allowing rumors to circulate without a single official denial for months. This leads us to our second revelation, which is the systemic impulse to manufacture these feuds specifically between women. You rarely see the same vitriol or competitive framing applied to male artists of the same age. When two men in the industry are successful, they are seen as peers. But when two women occupy the same space, the media frame shifts to a zero-sum game. This brings us to the industry secret, which is the most shocking revelation of all. In 2025, as both artists reached the peak of their respective eras, internal documents leaked from a major publishing house suggested that the entire rivalry narrative was codified into their marketing budgets as a necessary conflict. The secret is that these feuds are often written into the contracts of emerging stars as a way to guarantee a dedicated, protective fan base. By making the fans feel like they have to defend their idol against the villain, the labels ensure a level of brand loyalty that organic talent alone can rarely achieve. It is a calculated move to create a polarizing figure so that every stream is a vote for one side or the other. We saw this peak in late 2024 when Sabrina Carpenter released her breakthrough hits under a cloud of speculation that she was finally firing back at the 2021 drama. The media focused on the shade while ignoring the fact that the two women were literally being represented by different branches of the same corporate umbrella. Our third revelation takes us to the 2025 Grammys, where the mask finally slipped. While the PR teams were busy prepping statements about their healthy competition, a grainy fan video from the back of the arena showed Olivia and Sabrina sharing a long, genuine embrace while Taylor Swift walked past them. This was the receipt the industry tried to hide because it breaks the illusion of the bitter rival. If they are friends, the narrative dies, and if the narrative dies, the engagement drops. The footage was scrubbed from several major social platforms within hours, citing copyright issues, but the real reason was that it didn't fit the script of the heartbroken victim and the homewrecker. We have to look at the digital forensics of the social media interactions from that night. Every time a photo was posted of them in the same room, the comment sections were flooded with bot accounts, reigniting the old 2021 arguments. This is a common tactic used to keep the conflict fresh in the public consciousness, even when the participants have moved on. The fourth revelation involves the power pivot and the role of the industry veterans who benefit from the chaos. For years, the comparison between Olivia and Sabrina was used to keep both women in a state of professional insecurity. According to an industry insider who worked on the Guts tour, the pressure to outperform the other was a constant theme in production meetings. Every move Olivia made was measured against the rising momentum of Sabrina's career. This is the systemic impulse to create a winner and a loser. The media wants to know who is the real pop princess of the decade, but the reality is that they both are. They represent different facets of the same generation, but the industry needs them to be enemies to maintain the drama drip. We saw this again in June 2025, when Sabrina attended Olivia's performance at BST Hyde Park. She wasn't just there to watch, she was there as a peer. But the headlines the next morning were still trying to find a way to make it about a boy from 2021. The obsession with the past is a way to keep these women from fully defining their own futures, but the fans are starting to see through it. The rise of digital forensics and the ability for people to track unfollows and deleted comments in real time has made it harder for the labels to maintain the lie. We're seeing a shift where the audience is more interested in the truth of the friendship than the fiction of the feud. This brings us to the broader implications of why we pit women against each other. It is a reflection of a society that struggles to celebrate multiple female successes without a hierarchy. The industry creates this scarcity of space at the top to keep the artists controllable. If you think your spot is being taken by someone else, you are less likely to collaborate or share resources. But the 2026 collaboration rumors between Olivia and Sabrina suggest that the two artists are finally taking control of their own narrative. They know that a joint project would be the ultimate middle finger to the machine that tried to break them. The industry secret is that a collaboration would be more profitable than the feud, but the labels are terrified of the precedent it would set. It would mean that artists don't need a manufactured war to stay relevant. It would prove that authenticity and solidarity are more powerful than a curated beef. As we look back at the receipts from the last 5 years, we see a trail of breadcrumbs leading to a truth that Hollywood doesn't want you to know. The shade was often just a reaction to the intense pressure, and the lyrics were often about much more than just a specific person. They were about the experience of being a young woman in a world that wants to define you by your relationships. The deleted evidence from 2021 through 2025 showed two women who were trying to find their footing while being pushed onto a battlefield they never asked for. The industry fallout has been significant, with several A-list managers and PR firms being called out for their role in fanning the flames. This investigation proves that the narrative of the rival is a relic of the past. The future of pop is about duality and contrast, not conflict. We can have the punk rock angst of Olivia and the witty pop charm of Sabrina at the same time. The systemic impulse to choose a side is being replaced by a desire to understand the whole story. The receipts don't lie, and the context they were too scared to post reveals a much more complex and supportive reality between these two icons. We have to stop falling for the PR spin and start looking at the actual evidence. The Hollywood Exposed package on this feud is a reminder that the industry will always prioritize a good story over the truth. But as the drip continues to show you the reality behind the curtain, the power of the manufactured feud is fading. Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter are not the enemies the media made them to be. They are the survivors of a system that tried to use them, and they are coming out on top together. The real industry secret is that the war was never about the girls. It was about us. It was about how much drama we were willing to consume and how long we would stay invested in a fight that wasn't ours. Now that we have the receipts, we can finally let the old narrative die and appreciate these artists for the legends they are becoming. The era of the manufactured feud is ending, and the era of the collaborator is beginning. Don't let the next headline fool you. Look at the timestamps, look at the blurry background videos, and look at the way the industry tries to scrub the moments of peace. That is where the real story lives. The Drip is here to make sure that story is told and that the receipts stay public. Hollywood can try to bury the truth, but they can't delete the impact of two women deciding to rewrite the script on their own terms. This deep dive into the systemic framing of the Rodrigo and Carpenter feud is just the beginning of how we expose the industry logic that has dominated pop culture for decades. We are moving toward a world where the artistry matters more than the gossip, and where the real win is seeing through the manufactured chaos.